Hello, dear friends. Good morning. I am here, Lalit Kumar P. Bhaiya, Associate Professor, Electronics and Telecommunication Engineering Department, Bharati College of Engineering and Technology, Durg. Dear students, in last two videos, that is video number 39 and 40, we have studied temperature measurement part 1 and temperature measurement part 2, in which we have gone through the various aspects, some measuring devices, measuring sensors, temperature measuring sensors we have studied. And today we will see the remaining part of this temperature measurement as far as your syllabus is concerned. The temperature measurement part will be in detail in these three videos. So let us review of the two videos and go to the next one. We have seen this desirable temperature sensor characteristics. We have seen this contains various temperature measurement techniques: liquid in glass thermometer, bimetallic thermometers, thermocouples, laws of thermocouples, elements of thermoelectric pyrometer. Except this pyrometer, we have seen thermistors, etc. This introduction we have gone. What is temperature? How it can be measured? Temperature of a substance or temperature of a body. It is a quantity of heat. Law of thermodynamics applicable to this. Temperature scales we have seen with respect to the 2 points, lower fixed point ice point and the upper fixed point steam point, with the level 760 mm of mercury level. That we have seen. These are the scale. Fahrenheit, centigrade is the scales which are generally used. Kelvin and Rankine temperature is also scale. Reaumur scale and international practical scale. The conversion of these all we have seen. This is from centigrade to Fahrenheit and Fahrenheit to centigrade. Then Kelvin and Rankine temperature scale. Degree Kelvin is equal to degree centigrade plus 273.15. Degree Rankine is equal to degree Fahrenheit plus 459.69. Then method of temperature measurement. We have seen temperature measuring instruments are classified according to the change produced in the testing body by the change of temperature. And according to this, expansion thermometers, field system thermometers, electrical temperature instruments we have seen. Now we have to study the pyrometers also. Expansion of solid, that is bimetallic thermometer, and spiral bimetallic thermometers. Expansion of liquids, liquid in glass thermometer and liquid in metal thermometer, and gas thermometers. This bimetallic thermometer we have seen this diagram strip, already we have gone, and the principle of this we have seen. Then spiral thermometer with spiral bimetallic element we have gone. We have seen feature, advantage and disadvantage. Then liquid in glass thermometer, mercury and other liquid we have seen here. Bulb is produced at the one end, and how this is measured, how this liquid is filled in a glass thermometer, that we have seen. The level of mercury also. simple for use and relatively low cost, easily portable, ease of checking physical changes we have seen. Advantages and disadvantages we have seen. Then we have gone through the thermocouples. Two different metal are combined and forms a junction by which we can measure the temperature. This is called as Seebeck effect. This typical thermocouple circuit we have seen. And what is Seebeck effect we have also seen. This is the measurement of temperature using thermocouple by referring cold junction. And this is for Seebeck effect. If two metals are having the same, then what is there any change? Is there any voltage proportional to the temperature change? And if two dissimilar metals are there and forms a thermocouple, there is a change in temperature between the two metals will proportional to the voltage at the two ends. This can be measured like this. That we have already seen. Then we have seen laws of thermocouple, law of homogeneous, law of successive and intermediate temperature, and law of intermediate metals. This we have seen. This is the diagram of the thermocouple. Two terminal element consisting of two dissimilar metal wires join at the end, and this is measuring temperature with the help of voltmeter and circuit. This is with the reference to the ice bath, that is cold junction. Then elements of thermoelectric pyrometer. This is we have to see. Two dissimilar conductor electrically insulated except at the hot junction where the conductor may either be soldered or welded together. A refractory and a metal sheet is used for protection. Compensating leads are used to connect with the measuring instruments. The cold are the reference junction provided by the instruments used for measurement EMF. So here two dissimilar conductors are electrically insulated except at the hot junction where the conductor may either be soldered or welded together. So this in pyrometer, electric pyrometer, this type of situation is there. A refractory and metal sheet is used for protection. Let us see. These are used in case of the pyrometers. Reflection of the hot metal is used in the hotness is used in the pyrometer. Resistance thermometer. The resistance of certain metals changes with temperature, and the change in resistance will be observed as their voltages at the other end. So this change in voltages due to change in resistance will be proportional to the change in temperature. So resistance thermometer are one of the important measuring devices for the temperature. It states that when the increase of temperature, the electrical resistance of certain metals increases is directly proportional to the rise in temperature. For example, resistance thermometer detector, RTD, resistive temperature detector. RTD, you can see this is the resistance thermometer. Here you can see coiled resistance element is used here, and these are the connector wires, and this is core. This is the core. So RTD is one of the sensor for the measurement of the temperature, in which if heat is applied, which is to be measured, then resistance of this coil changes, and this change in resistance will produce the corresponding voltage. So RTD is the basic element of resistance thermometer, or basic instrument or basic device of the resistance thermometer. If the electrical resistance of wire is known and calibrated material is measured, then we can determine the value of temperature. Resistance elements made from platinum, copper and nickel wire are long spring shape enclosed in a metal sheet. Two leads are attached to each side of the platinum wire. Instrument is placed inside the liquid or gas medium where temperature is to be measured. Due to change in temperature, the platinum wire inside the sheet is heated or cool. Because of this, resistance of wire changes. The change in resistance can directly calibrated to indicate the temperature. That's earlier I have told you. The change in resistance is due to change in the temperature, and the change in the resistance will produce a corresponding change in the voltage, and the voltage difference which we obtain is then proportional to the change of temperature, and hence temperature measurement can be done with the help of these resistance thermometers. Advantages: they possess high accuracy of measurement, wide temperature range minus 200 to 650 degrees centigrade, maybe minus 20 degree to 650 degrees centigrade. This is not 220 degree. Small in size, fast response, temperature compensation is not required. It has a certain disadvantages also. They have larger bulb size than thermocouple because it is a metallic coil strip having resistance, so it is larger size. Their cost is high. They need a bridge circuit power supply. It also requires the power supply, that is also important. They show inaccuracy. Sometimes it is possible that inaccurate results may get. They produce mechanical abuse of vibration. This is also important because of vibration. Sometimes it is not possible to measure the temperature in perfect way. And you can see this diagram of thermistor. These are the thermistors shown here. And this is, you can see, these are also the thermistors, shape of the thermistors. Here, the change in temperature may occurs, that will produce the change in the metal, particularly resistance of the metal. And due to this resistance, if this is connected to in a circuit, the change in resistance, in place of the resistance we can connect this one. Suppose in a bridge, unbalance can be caused if we connect this thermistor to one of the arm of the bridge, and thermistor is kept in the hot body. Before the hot body, balance will be there of the bridge, and when this thermistor is applied to the hot body, the change in resistance will occur in the bridge, so unbalance will cause, and this unbalance will produce the output voltage. and hence this output voltage will be proportional to change in temperature. Thermistor, a resistor whose resistor changes with the temperature, that we have seen. Resistive element is generally a metal oxide ceramic containing magnesium, cobalt, copper, nickel, etc. Packaged in a thermally conductive glass bead or disc with two metal leads. Just we have seen in this diagram. In this diagram, these are the two metal leads are there and packaged with this ceramic. Suppose we have a 1 kilo ohm thermistor. What does this mean? At room temperature, the resistance of the thermistor is 1 kilo ohm. What happens to resistance as we increase the temperature? Now this is very important question. One is that we have a thermistor of 1 kilo ohm. That means at room temperature, the resistance of the thermometer is 1 kilo ohm. But what happens to the resistance as we increase the temperature? So there are two types of such positions are there. One is called as an NTC and another is a PTC. Let us see later on. The thermistor is an extremely non-linear device which is highly dependent on process parameters. A thermistor is a type of resistor with resistance varying according to its temperature. Thermistor name itself suggestive, therm and ester. Ester from resistor and therm is from thermal resistor. That is thermistor combined. The word is combination of thermal and resistor. Thermistors are widely used as inrush current limiters, temperature sensors, self-resetting overcurrent protectors and self-regulating heating elements. Assuming as the first order approximation that the relationship between resistance and temperature is linear, then delta R is equal to K into delta T. Delta R is equal to K into delta T, where delta R is the change in resistance, delta T is the change in temperature, and K is called as the first order temperature coefficient of resistance. So this relation can be used. Thermistors can be classified into two types depending on the design, depending on the sign of K. If K is positive, then resistance increases with increasing temperature, and if K is negative, then resistance decreases with increasing temperature. So, and the device is called positive temperature coefficient thermistor, PTC. I have asked the one question here. What happens to resistance as we increase the temperature? So you will get the answer here. Thermistor can be classified into two types depending on the sign of K. If K is positive, the resistance increases with increase in temperature. The device is called as a PTC. That is positive temperature coefficient thermistor. Or it is also called as a posistor. If K is negative, the resistance decreases with increasing temperature, and the device is called the negative temperature coefficient, NTC. So there are two types of thermistors, PTC and NTC, negative temperature coefficient and positive temperature coefficient. Thermistors are generally composed of semiconductor materials. Although positive temperature coefficient units are available, most thermistors have an negative temperature coefficient. That is, their resistance decreases with increase in temperature. The negative temperature coefficient can be as large as several percent per degree Celsius, allowing the thermistor circuit to detect minor changes in temperature. which could not be observed with an RTD or thermocouple circuit. So it is a different than thermocouple. Here you can see the characteristics of NTC, negative temperature coefficient. Most material exhibits a negative temperature coefficient. That means as temperature increases, resistance will increase or resistance will decrease. So here this is resistance, and you can see this resistance will be decreases as the temperature increases. This is temperature, raw thermistor resistance, and this is the characteristics of NTC. As temperature increases, this resistance will decrease. Advantages: they have small size and fast response, suitable for narrow space, cost is low, stability of instrument increase with the age, they are adaptable to various electrical readouts. Disadvantages: temperature versus resistances curve is very non-linear. They are not suitable for wide range. Stability is doubtful at higher temperature, over 316 degrees centigrade. They are limited for process applications. Then pyrometers. After this RTD and resistance thermometer, the next one is the pyrometer. It is a technique of measuring temperature without physical contact. So till now whatever devices we have seen, RTD, thermistor, etc., they will come in physical contact of the measuring substance. But pyrometers are the techniques which does not come in the physical contact, measuring temperature without physical contact. It depends on the relationship between the temperature of a hot body and electromagnetic radiation emitted by the body. Pyrometry is a technique for determining a body temperature by measuring its an electromagnetic radiation. This is important. This depends on particularly principle of electromagnetic radiations. Radiation pyrometer and optical pyrometer. These are the two types of pyrometers. Radiation pyrometers. Operation of radiation pyrometer is based upon the measurement of radiant energy emitted by the hot body. So hot body of which temperature is to be measured, it will produce the radiant energy. And the pyrometer reading is based on this radiant energy. It consists of a radiation, a lens to focus radiated energy from the body whose temperature is required onto a detector or receiving element. The receiving element may have a variety of forms such as a resistance thermometer or a thermocouple or a thermopile. Thermopile consists of several thermocouple connected in series. A temperature recorder, indicator and controller is attached to this receiving system. Total energy is radiated by a hot body whose temperature is to be measured. This radiated energy is focused on a detector or a pyrometer. The thermopile junction is attached to a blank disc. The disc absorbs the focused radiation. The reference junction of the thermopile is attached to the pyrometer which record the value of temperature. Its advantages: they are able to measure the high temperatures. They possess fast response speed. Their scale is non-linear. They are used for moving targets. Disadvantages: emissivity of target material affect measurement. Their scale is non-linear. Error due to presence of intervening gases or vapors. And then optical pyrometer. This is used for 600 to 3000 degrees centigrade. Like the hot furnace, you can measure this temperature. Optical pyrometer consists of an incandescent lamp filament which is used as the reference source of radiation. This is arranged in between hot body visible through telescope. The filament is heated by 2-volt battery. This filament of battery is in series with rheostat by the temperature is adjusted. Because of unbalance, the galvanometer is deflected, which is calibrated in terms of temperature. These are the advantages of optical pyrometer: flexibility, portability, light in weight, good accuracy. It is convenient for use and relatively inexpensive. Disadvantage: subjected to emissivity errors. And here finishes the temperature measurement. I request you kindly go through the diagram of the pyrometer which I have not taken here. So I request you kindly go through the optical pyrometry and pyrometers, diagram of the pyrometers from the book of A.K. Saveni. Thank you very much. In next video we will see the another article. Thanks a lot.